I want you to take a look at this painting and tell me what you see. Go ahead and pause the video, I will wait. The funny thing is that everyone who looks at this painting is going to have a slightly different answer, depending on their thinking style. Now, what's your thinking style? Your thinking style is the way that your brain makes sense of the world, right? You've got all these sensory inputs going in. You're seeing, the girl and the flowers and the objects in the background, and your brain delivers them to you, and everyone sees them slightly differently. For example, if you grew up in the United States or Europe or any Western country, you probably pointed out the objects in the foreground. You probably looked at the girl and the flowers. Whereas if you grew up in an Asian country, you probably paid a lot more attention to the objects in the background and the relationship between them, right? You probably paid attention to the windows and the light and the tree outside and how they reflected on the girl. You might have paid a lot of attention to the girl's emotions and how the flower is affecting her and making her feel, etc., etc. In his book, Think with Full Brain, Som Bathla shows you how to unlock other thinking styles. How do you want to unlock other thinking styles? Well, maybe you're a really, really good computer programmer, you're really good at logical thinking, but you suck at talking to women. Or maybe you're a really, really good accountant, you're really good at following processes, you're really good at doing things by the book, but you're terrible at thinking creatively. The good news is that you can learn other thinking styles. Intelligence isn't this fixed thing where you get what you get and you're good at some things and you're not good at other things and you just have to accept that. By practicing thinking in other ways, you can become good at them. Even better, you don't have to give up what you're good at now. It is possible for a super left-brain computer programmer to learn social skills. There are 4 types of intelligence that Bathla goes over in his book, and he dedicates a chapter to each of them. Those are 1. Logical problem-solving skills, 2. Following processes to the letter, 3. Creative thinking, and 4. Emotional intelligence. Most people are good at 1 or 2 of these types of intelligence. If you can get good at all 4, you can be amazing. There are a bunch of ways to strengthen each of these types of thinking, way more than I can go over in this video, but here's one trick per type of thinking. First, for logical thinking, you want to avoid confirmation bias. Confirmation bias has been called the mother of all biases. It will make you really, really stupid if you think with confirmation bias, so you need to learn to notice it and avoid it. What is confirmation bias? Confirmation bias is when you look for evidence that supports things that you already believe, and you ignore evidence that supports things that you do not believe. So, for example, if you take a Christian and an atheist, you show them the same report about God or the same philosophical paper about God or whatever, the Christian will walk away believing in God more, and the atheist will walk away believing in God less because they confirmation biased themselves, right? The Christian paid attention to the stuff that supported the position that God does exist, and the atheist paid attention to the information that supported the position that God does not exist. Maybe you're laughing about that, but I promise you, you do this stuff too. The best way to avoid confirmation bias is to look for information that disproves the stuff you believe instead of looking for information that proves the stuff you believe. So, for example, if you're a diehard Democrat, you might watch Fox News, and if you're a diehard Republican, you might watch CNN and MSNBC. What about process-oriented thinking? Well, this is about following a specific set of rules over and over again that have been proven and that everybody knows work. A good way to work on this is to organize your thinking. Bathla recommends starting anything that you want to do by first writing down all your thoughts, then categorizing those thoughts, then reframing those thoughts, and then finally making a plan based on those thoughts. He also recommends using the Eisenhower matrix to sort tasks based on how much they need to be done and how soon they need to be done. Next, emotional intelligence. How do you get better at dealing with people? Bathla recommends being genuinely curious about other people, right? If you jump to conclusions about people, if you're always judging them, then you're not going to like them. Instead, you want to learn about them, have deep conversations with them, actively listen to them, try and understand their cultural background and the way they see the world. It's even better if you can do this with people who are culturally different from you, because first of all, it'll help you empathize with them better. And second of all, it'll help you understand their way of seeing the world. And then finally, creativity. How do you become more creative? This is the one that scares a lot of people, but there's some research that suggests that this is actually the type of thinking that's easiest to learn. Bathla gives a 6-step framework for where creative ideas come from. And the first is you have to be interested in something. After you're interested in something, you start researching it, you start learning as much about it as you can. Then you spend tons and tons of time thinking about your subject until finally one day you have a eureka moment and it all comes to you in a flash of light. And then you verify that your idea will actually work, and then you implement it in the real world. So thanks for watching Theo's Book Club. If you're new here, my name's Theo. I make brief videos like this one going over the big ideas in the books that I read so that you can learn the stuff that I learned and so you can decide whether or not you want to read these books yourself. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll go and click the like button. That tells YouTube, this is a good video, we should show it to more people. You're also welcome to subscribe if you want to see more of my face popping up in your feed. And finally, I hope you go learn something really cool, I hope you go make yourself smarter, and I hope you have a great day.